Joining us now by telephone, Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney. Good morning to you. We are so happy for you to join us this morning. So what are you hearing and what did you learn from yesterday?
Well, I learned that the investigation is ongoing. The Justice Department has started an investigation, and 3 states, their federal agents have started it in North Carolina, and I think it's in North Carolina and New York, and I believe New Jersey. But in any event, there will be more hearings. One question that I asked Mr. Stump, for which I didn't get a clear answer, is that he has said that he will go back to 2009 to review all the accounts and to make the customers of Wells Fargo whole if in any way their accounts were abused. But in the Senate last week, he had to go back to 2011, and he graciously extended the review back to before 29, but refused to commit to extending the review back further. But when I presented him with evidence that Wells Fargo was engaged in some of these illegal practices prior to 2009, he still didn't clearly commit whether he would go back to 2007 or before whenever any illegal evidence was presented. So today I'm going to be writing him and trying to get a clarification, because I submitted to the record a court case in Montana,
right,
in which 6 Wells Fargo employees were fired, and according to the court documents, the illegal activities that they were fired for doing, which they say they were ordered to do, went back to 2008. So we need to clarify that. I think the hearing, Nicole, brought more questions than answers, but I want to make clear that this is not a threat to the safety and soundness of our important financial system.
And Congresswoman Maloney, Leah Gabriel, this of course is, for many about accountability. In terms of how far back they would go, he said that they'd leave no stone unturned, that they would make it right for customers. It sounds like you weren't quite satisfied with that answer. But let's talk about the stock sell-off. He says that he has more than 4 times the shares that are required. What's your response to that?
Well, I submitted some information that in reading documents my office and I found, it's really something for law enforcement and others to review. To me, Wells Fargo is and was a great company. It has a lot of great people that work there. It was one of my favorite companies. I am stunned and really upset about these allegations. And quite frankly, I thought Mr. Stump's answer was affirmative, that they would go back to wherever they found it. But when the press covered it, he said he didn't. So that's why I feel like I have to write the letter.
Right, you want to get clarity on that one. Representative Maloney, I want to jump in here. We don't have much time. So you talked about his stock sell-off of $13 million, calling it suspicious at that time because there were some complaints at that time. And so that was something that he rebutted. And also, going forward now, when we look at Wells Fargo, is this a Wells Fargo problem? How should shareholders, investors, Americans, how worried should they be about what we're seeing there?
Well, as I said, it's not a threat to the financial system as the downturn in 2008 to the overall, but it is an abuse, a very serious abuse of customers. I am stunned that customers could not count on their accounts being protected. What I don't understand is how they got away with it in the first place. It's clearly illegal. Why didn't they have some review or oversight to make sure that the accounts of customers were protected? And one of the biggest abuse, so I'm hearing from the people that I have the privilege of representing, is the danger or the threat to their credit scores, because when they took out other credit cards and didn't pay fines and fees that they didn't even know they had, it lowered their credit scores. It then hurt their interest rates for mortgages, for cars, and for any other purchase. So that's a danger. The main point is you don't want this to happen again. You want to make people whole again. You want to understand how in the world it happened in the first place. And I don't know how you correct it if the laws clearly state it's illegal to do in the first place.
Yeah. Well, Congresswoman Maloney, going back to the question of accountability, do you think that Mr. Stump needs to resign, and what would that do for the stability of the bank?
Well, I'm sure the bank has a deep leadership group. But personally, I think he should resign. I think the credibility of the bank is severely damaged. We're not talking about an isolated case. We're talking about an alleged 2 million false accounts, false accounts that was created from their existing customers and that hurt their existing customers. Now there was a lawsuit filed recently, and there are a number of lawsuits coming in from their employees saying they were forced to do illegal activity.
Okay, I want to move over to something else. There was those who did illegal activity, they were forced to do that, and those who were fired for being honest. Moving to a bigger picture here, you're on the financial committee. Now we're hearing about Deutsche Bank abroad, and that is something that might resonate throughout the financials overall. Any thoughts on Deutsche Bank? And we've been seeing the stock to the downside, some worries there about their liquidity.
I don't know. I'll look in it today and see if I can find out. But I was very focused all day yesterday on the hearing that we had. We were in recess. We all stayed for this Wells Fargo hearing. It was important. It was shocking not only to their customers, but I think the entire country, that this type of abuse took place, and it was so widespread and systemic.
Representative Carolyn Maloney, thank you for your dedication to Americans and putting in that time to ask the very key questions. Thank you, Carolyn Maloney. Thank you.